Human sacrifice in the Bible. Deuteronomy 12:27. And thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord thy God. And the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of the Lord thy God, and thou shalt eat the flesh. The Judeo-Christian Bible is chock full of blood sacrifice, human blood sacrifice. Most Christians rely on what their preacher has to say and or are too lazy or mentally challenged to read and study for themselves. How many people bother to really think? In addition to the blatant human sacrifices for Jehovah, bloodbath after bloodbath took place under the direction and orders of this bloodthirsty entity in the form of numerous wars and other acts of inhumanity. Gentile holy texts and sacred writings have been replaced with this Jewish invented and written filth. There's nothing spiritual about it, just murder after murder, no different from the Jewish-controlled Hollywood and its emphasis on violence, bloodshed, and murder to no end. Exodus 22:29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors, the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. Ezekiel 20:25-26. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgments whereby they should not live. And I polluted them in their own gifts, in that they caused to pass through the fire all that openeth the womb, that I might make them desolate, to the end that they might know that I am the Lord. This is 2 Samuel 21 is another example of blood sacrifice to appease Jehovah. 21:6. Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. 21:9. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord. And they fell, all 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days in the beginning of barley harvest. 21:10. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. When 7 men are murdered in cold blood in order to appease Jehovah in hopes that he will end a famine, it can only be called human blood sacrifice. More living blood sacrifice, Numbers 31:25. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation, 31:27. And divide the prey into 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation, 31:28. And levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons and of the beeves, and of the asses and of the sheep. 31:29. Take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest for an heave offering of the Lord. 31:30. And of the children of Israel's half thou shalt take 1 portion of 50 of the persons, of the beeves, of the asses, and of the flocks, of all manner of beasts, and give them unto the Levites which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. 31:31. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. 31:32. And the booty, being the rest of the prey which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 70,000 and 5,000 sheep. 31:33. And 312,000 beeves. 31:34. And 1,000 asses. 31:35. And 32,000 persons in all of women that had not known man by lying with him. 31:36. And the half which was the portion of them that went out to war was in number 300,000 and 7 and 30,000 and 500 sheep. 31:37. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615. 31:38. And the beeves were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 312. 31:39. And the asses were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 301. 31:40. And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. This excerpt was taken from the Handbook of Jewish Knowledge by Nathan O. Subal, 1964, pages 302 to 303. Jephthah, one of the ruler judges following the conquest of Canaan, had sacrificed his only daughter to the God of Israel in a celebration of a military victory against the Ammonites. Samuel the seer had hacked in a sacrificial manner the body of Agag before God. David, the sensitive poet king, had handed the 7 sons of Saul to the Gibeonites to hang them up before God, unto God. An example of this can be seen below, how the verse was changed in Judges 11:39. In the others, the human has been replaced with a lamb. Judges 11:34. And Jephthah came to Mizpeh unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Beside her he had neither son nor daughter. 11:35. And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me, for I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. 11:36. And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth, for as much as the Lord hath taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even of the children of Ammon. 11:37. And she said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows. 11:38. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. 11:39. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed, and she knew no man. It was a custom in Israel, 11:40, that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days in a year. Just how obvious can this get? In Judges 11:35, Jephthah rents his clothes. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this term, it is a Hebrew and also ancient custom to rent, meaning to tear or rip one's clothes upon the death of a loved one. For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. He has made a promise to sacrifice his only daughter to Jehovah. It's also glaringly apparent Jehovah demanded this act in exchange for his victory over his enemies and the children of Ammon. As he stated, I cannot go back. In Judges 11:37, his daughter states, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity. This thing be done for me, and bewail my virginity. Here it is obvious Jehovah demanded the sacrifice of a virgin. Judges 11:39. When she returned to her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed, and she knew no man. And Judges 11:40. The daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah. This is so obvious. He sacrificed his only virgin daughter to Jehovah, who demanded this act in exchange for his securing a victory for Jephthah. Cannibalism. Deuteronomy 28:53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave. 28:55. so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he has nothing left in him. Because he has nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. 28:56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. 28:57. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. 28:58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Human blood was not enough. Jehovah gave clear instructions for the ritual slaughter of animals as well. Exodus 20:24, an altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and thou shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. Exodus 24:4, and Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel. 24:5, and he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. 24:6, and Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. 24:7, and he took the blood of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient. 24:8, and Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. More instructions from Jehovah for blood sacrifice. Exodus 23:18, thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. Exodus 29:10, and thou shalt cause a bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the congregation, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. 29:11, and thou shalt kill the bullock before the Lord by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. 29:12, and thou shalt take of the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. 29:13, and thou shalt take all the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul that is above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. 29:14, but the flesh of the bullock and his skin and his dung thou shalt burn with fire without the camp. It is a sin offering. 29:15, thou shalt also take 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. 29:16, and thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood and sprinkle it round about upon the altar. 29:17, and thou shalt cut the ram in pieces, and wash the inwards of him and his legs, and put them unto his pieces and unto his head. 29:18, and thou shalt burn the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto the Lord. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 29:19, and thou shalt take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. 29:20, then shalt thou kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of the right hand, and upon the great toe of the right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. 29:21, and thou shalt take of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him, and he shall be hallowed, and his garments and his sons' garments with him. 29:22, Also thou shalt take of the ram the fat and the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and the right shoulder, for it is a ram of consecration. 29:23, and 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of the unleavened bread that is before the Lord. 29:24, and thou shalt put all in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and shalt wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. 29:25, and thou shalt receive them of their hands, and burn them upon the altar for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor before the Lord. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 29:26, and thou shalt take the breast of the ram by Aaron's consecration, and wave it for a wave offering before the Lord, and it shall be thy part. 29:27, and thou shalt sanctify the breast of the wave offering, and the shoulder of the heave offering which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. 29:28, and it shall be Aaron's and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Israel, for it is an heave offering. And it shall be an heave offering from the children of Israel of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto the Lord. 29:29, and the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed therein and to be consecrated in them. 29:30, and that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days, when he cometh into the tabernacle of the congregation to minister in the holy place. 29:31, and thou shalt take the ram of the consecration and seethe his flesh in the holy place. Leviticus chapter 1:1, and the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, 1:2, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man of you bring an offering unto the Lord, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. 1:3, and if his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. 1:4, and he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. 1:5, and he shall kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. 1:6, and he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into his pieces. 1:7, and the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. 1:8, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, and the fat in order upon the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. 1:9, but his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 1:10, and if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. 1:11, and he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. 1:12, and he shall cut it into his pieces with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. 1:13, but he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. (114) And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. 115, and the priest shall bring it unto the altar and wring off his head and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. 116, he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east part by the place of the ashes. 117, and he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Leviticus chapter 7, 7:1. Likewise, this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. 7:2. In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall be sprinkled round about upon the altar. 7:3. And he shall offer of it all the fat thereof, the rump and the fat that covereth the inwards. 7:4. And the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. 7:5. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a trespass offering. Leviticus 7:14. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation for an heave offering unto the Lord, and it shall be the priest that sprinkleth the blood of the peace offerings. The Lord needs every drop of that blood from the blood sacrifice. Leviticus 7:27. Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Here, more blood sacrifice is needed to remove the curse of leprosy Jehovah has inflicted. Leviticus 14:34. When ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession. 14:49. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. 14:50. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. 14:51. And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. 14:52. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. 14:53. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. 14:54. This is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scab. 14:55. And for the leprosy of a garment and of a house. 14:56. And for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot. 14:57. To teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. More examples of blood sacrifices to Jehovah. Leviticus 8:14-32, Leviticus 9, 1-24, Leviticus 14, 1-5, Leviticus 14, 12-28, Leviticus 23, 12-21, Numbers 19, 1-7, Joshua chapter 10, nothing but mass murder, Judges 1, 1-18, more bloodbaths and mass murder, Judges 3, 27-31. This goes on and on and on. Repeats of endless mass murder and bloodshed. The word blood is used over and over again. You would think this would all be so obvious. We all must bear in mind the Nazarene was the ultimate human sacrifice. Also, eat his body and drink his blood is repeatedly recited during nearly every Christian mass or service around the world. The article above in this article, Jehovah, a murderer and a liar from the beginning, reveal bloodbath after bloodbath and the conquering and genocide of Gentiles at the hands of the Jews. This concludes part 9 of Exposing Christianity, Human Sacrifice in the Bible. Hail Satan!